Hey everybody, in this episode of the Riverdale Aftershow, we're breaking down Season 3, Episode 12, Chapter 47, Bizarrodale. Our supporting characters step into the limelight. We've got a wedding, a betrayal, Jughead's mom returns, and is one of the members of Riverdale moving to the Big Apple? We'll break that all down next.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Riverdale Aftershow, breaking down every episode of Riverdale, airing Wednesday nights there on the CW. I'm Frank Moran.
Hello guys, I'm Sam Davidson. I'm excited to be back, and I loved this episode.
I'm glad that you're back as well. I'm Alana Jordan, and I also love this episode.
And I'm sure the fourth member of our panel, Zach, I'm sure wherever he is this evening, he loves this episode as well. But as always, folks, like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and Sam's got a computer up and running, which means the chat is up and running. I know all you Riverdale junkies are already in there sharing your thoughts. Keep it coming as we break down this episode.
Yes.
But before we dive into the particulars, Sam, what did you think of this episode overall?
I can't tell you guys if I'm getting old or if sometimes the writing isn't very clear and it seems like they have guest writers just moving in and out. There's some storylines that I thought to myself, I would have liked to have seen more of those. But that's also why I like this episode, because there was all this stuff that we didn't even know about. Josie and Sweet Pea, I mean, I don't know if they've mentioned it before, but I was very excited about that. I was excited about seeing relationships that we haven't seen in a long time, and I wasn't that mad not seeing our core 4 that much. I was happy, actually.
Yeah. Elena?
We got to see the core 4 a little bit, but it was just like banging montage where it was like everybody, hey, don't forget, this is our scheduled time, that this is what we do, I guess. I don't know, that was weird. But the rest of it...
The parents knew, or the Gargoyle King knew, quote unquote.
I mean, I like this episode. I think it's really cool when they go kind of tonally shifting from one to the next. I kind of liked that last week we had our whole kind of dime detectives vibe thing going, and this is kind of more of a straightforward episode. I mean, I would have liked to see more Betty, but, you know, anytime one of them isn't in it a lot, that's my only critique. So there's a little bit of time.
I feel like this has given us, well, at least what many people have asked for, and I know I have, is just seeing there's such a rich supporting cast on the show that we rarely get to see. And if we do, they're more often not in service of one of our core 4 storylines. So it was nice to see the tables turn this time. And Archie is more of a supporting force for Josie's storyline. Reggie and Veronica, I guess, could put them on equal level because they're both in that same thing together. But it was nice to give these people that we always see in the background, we always we'd love to know more about these characters, a little time to shine.
Yeah. I was excited that we had some more Keven and Moose time, too.
Yes.
Because I'm like, we talked about Keven for like 3 episodes, and it was like, don't forget, Keven still exists, but he's not here because we're doing something else.
I mean, listen, I know one Riverdale writer that does listen to this podcast. I'm assuming there's maybe a couple more. I'm just saying we can give them advice, and then, maybe they listen. And so they brought us some Keven and Josie. I'm going to give us the validation that we did this.
That was clearly us.
We did this, yeah.
All right. Thank you, Sam. I will say between the two, I feel like Keven definitely got more stuff, a little bit more limelight shown him. I feel like Josie still just kind of like, okay, I'm going to go sing. We cut out from the song. We don't really even see much of it. Then her and Archie are just, I know they're kind of building this up, but it happened so fast, it felt like.
Are we talking about it yet?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
We've seen little tastes of Archie and Josie before. Am I incorrect in saying that? Because there has been a flirtation in the past. I don't know if it was season 1. I think it might have been season 1.
I mean, at any point, they've all had, the googly eyes for each other, but they definitely set up like a Josie Archie.
Yeah, there was some point in the
tension.
past. And I mean, what was the other pussycat's name? Valerie. Mm-hmm. Yes. So there's him and Valerie. I don't know. It's just how many, checks can he get off, next to his name as far as who he's kissed in this school. I'm really...
Archie?
Yes, Archie. I'm really ready for him to... I don't know,
Well, if I looked at between, say, Reggie and Veronica and Josie and Archie, I felt like the Reggie and Veronica took a little bit longer, and so it seemed a little bit like all right, yeah, I buy into this and I'm with it, when they really made that connection. I feel like Josie and Archie's we hit the fast forward button really quickly on these guys.
I think also just because they had it kind of within 2 episodes, and this one was just so rushed where it was just like, oh, I have a secret audition for Juilliard that I definitely have never mentioned because that's within my character. I clearly would never tell anyone about that. now Sweet Pea, after I dumped him, doesn't want to take me, so...
And since when were you dating Sweet Pea? Like, where did that come from?
Well,
Again, I mean...
I
Well,
don't
we
know.
only saw
It
that
was
at the season premiere when they were at
Yeah.
the pool, and we saw them kind of hanging out there, and she's like, "This has got to end because school's about to start, so our summer fling is over."
I would have liked to see more of that than some of the BS we have been fed in some of these past episodes.
Yeah, I feel like just like with Archie, it was just like, I'll do it. And then later it was like, I need a date. Like, I can't even get a date. How sad is that? I'll do it.
He's the man whore of
"Jeez,
Riverdale.
Archie, like, shit. Like, take care of yourself, man. Like,
You guys know it's true. Let me know if you think Archie Andrews is the man whore of Riverdale. Like, everyone has a job. You know, Betty's a detective. Veronica owns the underground 1920s bar. And everyone has a job. And Archie's just, like... He's a guy that gets people through things. You know, he's always there with his lips out and just ready to make out with you.
I don't judge. I'm like, there are people cruising Fox Forest. I'm like, y'all do you. That's fine. Just like make sure you're not in the bunker when someone else is there. And also clean the bunker when you're done. Like, don't like Cheryl. I don't know. That's a later thing. But Cheryl just being like, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. We all bang in that bunker and we don't really clean it. I'm like, gross, friends. Be better.
That's true. There should be like just like a chore wheel.
Several
Right there in the
people
bunker.
almost
Set that
died
up.
in that bunker. Just saying.
I know. It's
Blood.
like, which one?
and there was a tall boy's body that laid in there for at least a few
Yeah.
days.
They're like, I cleaned the corpse last time, so I feel like I get dibs on the bunker.
Oh, I was just going to make a really inappropriate joke, and I'm not going to. But there's a lot of things to clean, probably, down in the bunker.
That's true. A lot of fluids.
No
guys.
Yes.
black lights in the bunker.
No.
Well, we're speaking about the bunker because it does tie into the other romantic storyline that was playing this week, and that was Moose and Keven. So we saw for the longest time we saw a little bit of them at the beginning of the season premiere. They like kind of spent their summer tryst together, but then not too much. We saw like the ROTC, little bits and pieces, but not really much of anything until this episode comes to a head. And then we say goodbye. So were you satisfied, or are you left frustrated? Because I mean, we finally set this up, and then it's immediately taken away.
I mean, I feel like they didn't quite establish if they were just left frustrated because we don't know if the Gargoyle King busted in before or after. Oh, we're talking about a different thing.
No, I feel like they finished. I feel like they finished because
You
they
do?
seemed very
I hope
relaxed.
so.
Because they were sitting there relaxed, like, I'm so glad we did this. I feel like that was post-coital.
It has
But
to
why
be.
did they have all of their... I mean, why couldn't they have been under the covers? Was that too much for the
don't know.
CW? Like, I mean, we see... You know, bras and underwear, they had their little shirts on. So, I mean, I don't
I'll be
know.
sad if they didn't at least have like their farewell. I mean, for the show that keeps showing these kids in completely adult situations too, I did like that they had kind of, you know, like the reference to kind of the teenage mentality of how long have we been together since the beginning of summer, so practically forever.
Yeah.
Like in their minds, this is this is.
One
such a
semester
heightened-
is like a year.
Yeah, it's like in teenage angst time.
That's true.
It's like dog years. It's like they've been together a while. So it's, you know, if it was going to be a situation where it was either he's pushed out of the closet or he feels that he can't come out or that situation, I felt like they could have explored that a little bit more instead of then it being, you know, the whole thing with his dad and kind of having that monologued just really quickly. Like, I'm like, also, you guys give way too information when you're interrogated. Like, they immediately ask one question, and you're like, in high school, tell you my whole backstory. Anyway.
That would be like a really, really funny sketch. It's like every person you interview, like you're a policeman, and they say, well, you know, back in 1994, I went to a McDonald's. And it's like, no, we really couldn't care what you did in high school, anything. That said, though, I'm very grateful they're keeping the through line of that high school was important with the Midnight Club. And they weren't just letting that go with like, it wasn't a backdoor pilot at all, but with shows like Gossip Girl and like they've done things like that where the flashback episode was a backdoor pilot to a spin-off and it just very much lived on its own. So I'm really happy that that episode is actually a very big storyline of the entire season.
It's we do get to reveal that, you know, Moose's dad is the Gargoyle King for this particular episode because he's trying to make Moose and Keven just frightened, kind of scare them straight. But
Basically just making us all feel a little bit better about the fate of the sisters. Like, it was bad for them, but they weren't great, so...
would you, Because seeing Moose's dad at the beginning of the episode, I mean, we already know that he's not really thrilled about anything going on with Moose and Keven. Do you feel like it would have been better to see the conversation between Moose and his dad, where he comes out to him and seeing that reaction, or just hearing it in monologue and then getting that's satisfactory enough for the reveal we get at the end?
It wasn't satisfactory enough, but it also, I was like, this is too good to be true. There's no way that this is some happy ending of sorts. So I didn't need to see it, but I also kind of understood probably that it was not okay. But I didn't necessarily think he would be the one attacking them.
I feel like the best scripts are the ones that show and don't tell. And I feel like because this is one where, you know, we don't necessarily have to have that conversation with his dad, because we've seen kind of the tensity building, and we saw him with the ROTC come in and kind of break in through the door when they were originally hooking up. And it's just, you already have that kind of indication that something's not right. So then having him say, I think it went really well, and then we went to Pops, and like, that's a good sign. Like this, you know, I'm not quite sure, but I think it's good. And then having that rug pulled from underneath them, I think is even more impactful, because we see that Moose thinks, oh, I've been so worried, and now it's okay. And then it's not okay. So that's what gives the impetus for he has to leave. And it's like, that's understandable. Like, I think we all would have been kind of mad at Moose if he and Keven broke up, just because he's like, I don't want to tell people.
Yeah.
But this is one where he's like, I finally had the courage. Like, this was such a huge, big step for me. And then to have all of this happen, like, it's too much. And I think he's finally dealing with the right way, instead of immediately being like, I'll just sing backup for somebody and that'll work out my issues.
Yeah. I would have liked if the Gargoyles, Moose's dad's plan as the Gargoyle King wasn't that to scare them straight, but it was just like, if your first time is going to be in a bunker, that's bad. Go somewhere. Here, go to a hotel. Go to a nice place. Make this more memorable. Don't do it in a bunker. Oh, this is so gross in here.
I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for all the things we've known that have gone down in that bunker, I would think it was rather romantic. I feel like I was in Grease 2. Has anyone ever seen Grease 2? Mm-hmm. There's a bunker, and there's some business going on down there. I think it's rather romantic, but again, not
Really?
now that we know.
Isn't
Yeah.
a bunker basically just like a sewer without the poop?
No, it's like a hideaway.
I'm just like, when I'm thinking of the most romantic locations, I'm not like, one of our friends almost bled out here and there was a corpse here for far
yes.
too long.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
Well, the Tomboy corpse, I don't think everyone knows about. You know, they might be like, what's that smell?
It has
But
to smell weird in the bunker.
yeah, it's like, well, Archie really was in the wilderness for a long time. So
Now, I want to know, because Moose's dad tries to trick the original Midnight Club. He goes through an elaborate ruse for the Midnight Club to be able to pull this off, his little stunt that he does with Keven and Moose.
Which was weird to me, because I'm like, your kid is one of them. If you're just going after the other kid, why are all of these other people having their bang sessions interrupted? Like, they don't have anything to do. Like, it seems like you could have just been like, oh yeah, I'll make sure that Kevin's dad's like busy with his wedding.
Yeah.
He's already really busy, so this seems like a lot of work for you.
And why would you, if you want to make this sure this happens and you're not interrupted, would you put a got you in there? Why are you tipping everybody off like, oh, this is just a prank?
Haha, joke's on you. And also, I went to the effort to get this cow skull. Like,
Yes.
like, you just have the. Why does everybody in Riverdale have a cow skull? Is that what makes it Bizarro Dale? Like, I'm like, I don't.
Everybody can just make their own Gargoyle King costume. It seems
That's
very
what's
easy.
weird too. Is I was like, okay, well then maybe the Riverdale Halloween shop should stop selling Gargoyle King Halloween costumes, because apparently everybody has one.
I feel like there has to be some kind of connection. They have to be sharing at least a couple costumes. Right? No? People are just making their own Gargoyle King costume to mess with people.
It seems like it at this point.
I want a Batman Begins style montage of them just like sewing the suit.
But Sam, I mean, I know before we get to our next topic,
Yes, we do. We want to remind you guys that we have so many other shows here at AfterBuzz that I know all of us do, and we wanted to say thank you for making the us, the ESPN of TV Talk. And for us to continue to grow, we could really use your help. If you're on YouTube right now, please hit the subscribe button and hit that thumbs up. And if you're on iTunes, please give us a 5-star rating. But no matter where you are, leave us a comment so you can get involved in the conversation. I literally read my comments from 6 months ago from shows I did. I'm not even kidding, and I still respond. So make sure you do that, and also leave us a comment review on iTunes as well. Being a part of AfterBuzz TV has meant so much to all of us, and we truly appreciate you guys supporting us and doing what we love. So don't forget to tell your friends and keep enjoying our shows, especially our Riverdale Aftershow, because we get into it. Guys, we really do.
There was like a little bell just to accent the end of that. Absolutely. Our other member of Riverdale that we kind of focus on is Cheryl and TT. And Cheryl kind of...
TT? Did you just call her TT?
Call her TT.
I call TT.
That's
Tony,
what...
Topaz.
Yeah, that's what Cheryl calls her.
Antoinette, Tony, TT, babe.
All right.
Cheryl,
Babe,
fun,
if
yeah.
you want to like go real Cheryl
Yeah.
style, because they're all just like, hey, babe. Yeah, babe. It's okay, babe.
TT.
He calls her TT. She calls her TT.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Tony
little,
Topaz.
it's a little pet
No,
name.
I was like, wow.
I like it.
Wow.
It doesn't sound good coming out of my mouth. It's so
So-
fine coming out of Cheryl's mouth. I call her TT, and it seems weird. Got it. Fine. Cheryl's trying to get into Highsmith College, and it should be easy because she's a legacy, and she did great at her SATs, so it should be a slam dunk, but only to find out that her mom's kind of paid them off to prevent somebody of Cheryl's prescription there from going into that higher institution.
But why? I do not understand Cheryl's mom's MO in anything, because she's trying to help protect her, then she's trying to keep her out of college. Like, what does she want? Does she love her daughter? Does she not love her daughter? I truly do not understand.
I think Penelope's just been messing with too many poisons. I think it's just made her brain all funky because, yeah, she just seems like... It's like, this is still your daughter. Like, you want her to go to a good school, and she basically is like, no, I like Highsmith College more than I like the fact that you're a lesbian, so you can't go to college here because of that. And it's like, we've already dealt with this. Like,
Wouldn't
pretty
her
good
life
amount.
like be so much easier, Penelope's, if Cheryl left town?
That's what and on top of that, I'm like, she even points out where she's like, Mom, you run a brothel.
Yeah, for somebody that has a very just kind of open view of sexuality, running the Maple Club, that she would find this the particular sticking point. Or I don't know if it's the case of like, that's fine for everybody else, but if it's my own daughter, no.
Which you would think at the Maple Club, they're saying like the grossest dudes. You would think Penelope would be like, ladies are all right.
Yeah, like, I'm jealous, Cheryl. Like, please continue. How is she not sick of disgusting men at this point, Penelope? I'm not sure. And I was about to say I'd love to see a little web series spin-off of the Maple Club, but I actually don't at all. Never.
No? You don't know?
I don't want to know.
on Pornhub. I think that's not.
Yes, exactly.
The skivvy
It's
Riverdalians?
called like MILF Dominatrix. I think if you just probably Google or
Yeah, I
Pornhub
don't-
that, yeah.
Well, all right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Sam. Thanks, Sam.
I'm sorry for just pointing out the obvious,
All right.
guys.
All right.
If you're looking for a new page to bookmark.
All right, let me write that down. Okay, I'll check that
Good
out
to know,
later.
good to know.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's just it's so weird. These like self-sabotaging moms that like don't want their kids to go to college. Like with Betty's mom being like, I gave your college money to the farm, and then Penelope being like, nope, I'm on the board and I told them to tell them to go tell you to F yourself. Like,
Yeah.
why?
And she folded pretty quickly. Like, oh, what if we publish the list of the names of people? All right, I guess I'll tell them it's okay. You go here.
Well, if it's part of a multi-step plan, I guess if this is the first step.
Well,
Might
I
as well.
would just like to say thank you to External Shockwave 3. He'll check it out, no problem. So really glad we're getting that port.
Sweet.
And that's
He'll
the
let
one
us know
comment
about
I'll
his
give a shout out to.
External
No,
Shockwave.
I'm just kidding. Also, Peyton727 says she loves Shoni because Cheryl was being an awesome girlfriend by giving her her college interview and making the club called the Pretty Poison for her. I guess we have to get into that now, but Cheryl is a disaster.
I don't know if I would say.
Go ahead, no.
No,
I feel like this Cheryl is so much better than what we saw like in season 1. I mean, I feel like this Cheryl is somebody that does feel genuine regret that she's done something, and then she tries to take steps to correct it. I
But
mean,
she doesn't. She makes it worse still.
how do you think she made it worse?
She outed Moose on the PA.
Well, no, it's true, but then she took steps after that to
Yeah.
fix everything.
And she wasn't intentionally, like, she thought she was helping. It's just that and this is another thing, she was super messed up from the sisters, too. Like, they even reference that, where it's like Tony came and saved her. So it's like, don't forget, these sisters who had such an impact that Moose's dad, that friggin' Major, feels like he has to dress up as the Gargoyle King to harass his kid. It's like her getting on the PA system is like, well, she could be a little bit more Crazy Town Banana Pants, considering.
Also, okay, this new gang that Cheryl is giving to her girlfriend, so sweet. Who, give your girlfriend a gang for Valentine's Day. That's what they want. But it's like after someone's dog gets lost, and then you're trying to find your dog, trying to find your way back to your dog, and then your significant other just goes, here's a new dog. Just forget about the old dog. Here's a new dog. She's not going to want this random gang. I don't think.
But I also don't think it's forget the old dog. It's just that, unfortunately, Tony can't go back to the Serpents, at least at this point, until Jughead, for whatever reason, decides to change his mind and welcomes him back.
It's her mentality of just like, oh, you had an uncle who didn't support that this is a big part of who you are? Well, guess what? Here's a new family that all supports that because we're badass lady gang. And we're down to be pretty. We're down to wear jackets, and then we're down to kick some butt while we're wearing those pretty jackets.
I'd love to see what happens with this lady I hope they impress me.
I feel like they're gonna wear just studded Jeffrey Campbells, and it's gonna be some slow motion walks with like a lot of this montage. I'm ready for it.
Like a new style of Josie and the Pussycats, kind of.
I can see it. The montage walk down the hallway. I know it's happening. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm like, everything's gonna be bedazzled.
I feel like we're never going to see any of this until there's some big showdown at the end of the season against the Gargoyle Gang, and then you see the Pretty Poison show up to help out the Serpents, and they're like, "Oh man, Tony, you helped us when we threw you out, and you still came back to help us out. Come on back to the Serpents." Well, if I'm here, then all the rest of my girls got to be in too, and so then they're like,
"Nah, we already made these jackets. We're not paying for new ones. We're gonna still be our gang. We'll just hang out with y'all too."
I will say that a lot of people in the chat agree with me that Tony does belong in the Serpents, But I think that what's going to happen is probably what you guys are saying. There will be, there needs to be more women in the Serpents,
but
for
I'm also
sure.
like, Cheryl already has that dope freaking red Serpents jacket, so I'm like, what is going to be her jacket situation? Like, come on now.
That's true.
Like, what color is going to be her Pretty Poison jacket? That's, I think, what we all are wondering.
You know it's going to be red.
It has to be. But she's just like, oh no, I grabbed the wrong jacket. Like, that's so awkward.
Wah, wah.
Like, I have two almost identical gang jackets. I better be careful not to grab the wrong one.
Well, and again, it's family. Like Taylor James in the chat said she, aka Tony, she practically was raised in the Serpent, so she should have been able to go back. And that's a life. Like, we didn't know Tony up until a year or so ago. Mm-hmm. So she had a whole life before us. And I think she misses them, and I think we will need to see a reunion.
I'm sure we will at some point.
Yeah.
Heck, we got our Fang. He's back in the mix. So yeah.
But it's also like it was very easy to put together a gang. Like, what is happening in this school?
Yeah,
it was the LGBT club that I think Cheryl was proposing, right?
I think so. Like that was the indication. But I was like, but there's no dudes that are like, hey, I also would like to be a part of this. She's like, lesbian girl gang. That's what this is.
The one guy that walks in there. I'm like, I guess.
No,
sorry.
Nope.
Gotta go. Are you happy with the name Pretty Poison?
Yeah.
I mean, I think an interesting, one, that Tony came up with it, because if Cheryl had come up with it, I'm like, a little bit too like your mom, because poison is like her go-to thing. Like, Pretty Poison just seems like what the Maple Club should be called.
Yeah, it's like stay away from the arsenic, maybe. But,
yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, I feel like that's also like, oh, here's your new girl gang. What should we be called? I have a name ready. I don't know. I was like, that was just like, you're pretty quick on that draw there.
Well, but I'm sure who hasn't sat there and rate, like, if I had my own gang, I would call it this. And you just write down a bunch of names and you just sit there and you daydream.
The super dope dudettes.
Yeah.
People are like, no.
Nope. All right, scratch that. No, that won't work. To cut back, as you mentioned, Poison and Penelope, I will give a shout out to the Midnight Club for having Penelope make up an anti-venom or antitoxin for the cyanide, which I thought that was really smart thinking.
There was an antidote for cyanide. Like, I just thought, like, oh, if you're poisoned with cyanide, that sucks for you. Bye.
Well, I believe it exists in Riverdale. Whether it exists in real life, I would have to Google that. But I'm going to be busy on this Pornhub thing, I guess. So I'm looking at this.
Ew, gross. That is just disgusting, Frank.
Inside the
oh
bunker.
my god.
The bunker live cam.
But I thought it was nice to see them at least playing smart. I was like, all right, cool. You know what you're getting into. At least try to take some preventative causes.
Yeah, I thought that was, and that they were all pretty smart to watch and make sure that Penelope drank it first.
That's true.
Because I'm like, I don't trust this. She keeps killing everybody. Like, everybody that she's like, hey, can you do this thing for me real quick? Cool, I'm going to kill you now.
And where did her ex-husband's identical twin brother go, Claudius? Where's Claudius?
He's
She
dead.
killed him. She poisoned him.
I
in
forgot.
The
I'm
jail
so
cell.
sorry, you guys.
That's
I
what
forgot.
I'm saying. She was
He's
like,
dead.
Claudius, do me a favor. Cool, thanks.
But who knows? That could be
Poisoned,
the
dead.
identical triplet, and Claudius. You know, maybe it's Clifford. That's You know what? I'm sorry. I know you guys are gonna be like, Sam, an episode, blah blah blah. They both died, and they did. But I never trust anyone in the show, including
Because she
Penelope.
poisoned them. She poisoned everybody. She's like, sisters, poison. Claudius,
She's the
poison.
Red Dahlia, remember?
Yeah, which also, what?
Yeah. I know. We didn't talk about that last week. I know Elena was not a fan of that name.
Yeah, because I was like, that doesn't make any sense. The Black Dahlia was the victim, and also it had nothing to do with poison, and red is just a color. Like, I don't, okay.
Yep.
Blood.
Yeah, but it's like,
No.
I guess it maybe sounded cool, like, oh yeah, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
like
Let's
the
do it.
red Dahlia. It's like, what? It should be
Oh,
like the
man.
Black Widow. Like, something that makes sense. Like a poison that also kills men that she sleeps with. What? It's right there.
Peyton727 in the chat said, LOL, I love the fact that Penelope looked at the other parents and chugged it. It's like, look at that, bitches.
That's right.
Chug it down.
Is it bad that I also just want to have like a Riverdale drinking game where everybody has a badass chalice and it's just like we all think like it's a mixed drink, but like some of it has a little bit of whiskey and one is just like 90% whiskey with like a little bit of mixer and you don't know if you've got the bad chalice or not. Flip for your life.
Flip for it.
I think we just came up with a plan. We're going
All
to play
right.
this game and then get on Pornhub.
I'm going to go on Etsy, yes, to find these chalices. I will bring them to you all.
Fantastic. Well, one place you might need some challenges if you're going to be toasting a wedding, and we do have a wedding this episode, although it happens off camera. But we have Sierra and Tom. They finally tie the knot.
Good for them. I don't really care.
Really? Come on.
I don't know. I mean, I'm happy for them, but now is not the time to revel in happiness publicly because someone will get killed. My personal opinion.
Do you not care because we haven't seen much of them throughout the whole series? So it doesn't really mean anything to you.
I don't trust anybody. I literally don't trust anyone. If I haven't seen them for a little bit, I'm thinking to myself, what have they been planning in some bunker of their own? What kind of gargoyle costume do they have? I thought Tom for a while was the Black Hood, for sure. I still don't trust Tom. And I think Sierra just conveniently gets into places of power, and I don't know. I think maybe Tom actually is gay. Who knows? I don't trust it. I don't trust anything on this show, though.
You don't-
So
yes.
I am like an old, sad lady of Riverdale. I just
I don't
am
know about that.
depressive. I'm like, no, I don't trust love. Nothing.
I did think there
Marriage.
was going to be a twist at the end of it because when they did say, when Penelope was saying the Gargoyle King wanted nobody from the Midnight Club to be happy. And when he hears about a wedding, he wants to put a stop to it. So I thought at the end when they said, well, at least we got the cake, and then you see the bottle of champagne and the two glasses, I thought there was going to be cyanide in the wine, in the champagne bottle or something. I thought there was going to be some twist that one of them would have died. But it didn't happen.
But no, they were just like room service brought up our cake because we couldn't cancel it, so we had it delivered to the room.
Yeah, that was the one scene I was like, well, at least we still got the cake. I'm like, okay.
I was like, and your life together. I mean, you just got married. It's like, okay, all right. We didn't have to drink from that chalice, and we're gonna eat this entire 40-person cake, just
to ourselves.
the two of us.
That's right. We don't have to share, Tom. It's all ours.
At that point, I would have just stuck my hands in it and been like, isn't this great? We can eat cake in bed, just eating the cake. I mean, no one had they didn't have a wedding. I suppose that was sad, but
But don't you feel like that is like the status of a supporting character when they have a big kind of milestone event in their life? You know you're not going to actually get to see it because nobody really cares about those characters that much. If it'd been...
Unless something happens there, like unless it's just the location for some other impetus.
Yeah. I bet if it had been Fred getting married, we would have seen that wedding, and it would have been the focal
Fred-
point for something.
Well, we
Someone
would
would have
because then
died
somebody
there.
would have come up and shot Fred
Yeah.
in slow motion, and he would be like, again.
I still think, you guys, Fred is gonna get shot again, and then we're all gonna like look at the TV and be like, "Oh, damn it, this is gonna be real this time," and I'm
They
just
get
gonna
shot
cry.
a lot, like Reggie, just like nonchalant, like, "Oh yeah, man, I got shot," and Veronica just like, "Let's talk about it for a while," while they continue to shoot at us.
Yeah,
Like,
but I saw like no. Well, we'll get into that. Here we go. Reggie and Veronica, they've got to help Hermione because they burned all the drug stuff at the end of the last episode, and now the big buyer's coming to town, and they owe money, and so now it's up to Reggie and Veronica to raise this, and it's a lot of money.
I'm really glad that Veronica's smart and Reggie has big muscles. Like they're a good team.
I feel like that's
brains
one
and
thing I
broad.
hate though when shows do this, where it's like, you owe a lot of money. How much? Let me write down a number on this piece of paper that the audience never sees, and just see your
Yeah.
reaction. Whoa! Like, just show us the
I
number.
feel like I'm in an episode of Ozark, and I'm like, yeah, because they also use that trope. Like, I don't like it. Stop. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what
say
you
the
gain.
amount.
I
And it's
think
also
it's
like-
just like a poop emoji. That's every time someone does that. That's what I imagine. It's just
They
like
just
a poop
draw
emoji.
a poop emoji.
It's
Yep.
you owe poop dollars. That's
Exactly.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's like we have more
dollar.
of that in the bunker, underground. So
Yeah, I don't. That did bother me. Where I'm like, that's the thing that we're going to be secretive about. Just say an amount. It doesn't matter. Like
Yeah.
even if it's $100,000, like yeah, or any thousands of dollars, we know that's a lot to a teenager.
Yeah, because I can't imagine what they needed was going to be at Reggie's dad's dealership.
That's what was weird to me too. I don't know. I was like, this just seems like an odd plan all the way around. And then just like that line thrown in, like, and if you think I'm being a bad son, don't forget my dad was a dick and he used to hit me.
Yep.
Like I was like, okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
so Reggie's still a good guy. Don't forget. Like,
I'd love to know what you guys think as far as this relationship, veggie, if that's what they're calling it, the kids these days, being pushed a little because they're together in real life. Sure, they have chemistry, but Veronica's way too smart for Reggie. She's too smart for Archie as well. So let's find her someone new. But I think the actor that plays Reggie, adorable, lovely, seems like a nice person. I did not like his acting this episode. Every time he spoke, I was like, this is why he has been silent for so long. He's not very good at this whole talking thing.
Or he's good at making you believe that he's just a big lunkhead jock.
yeah.
Oh, and that he's the Gargoyle King? I don't know. Black Hood, maybe, possibly.
No,
I
not any of
doubt.
that.
No, I don't think that. I think he's just playing like what's on the page. Like, I mean, it's like the same thing where it's like Cheryl speaks in a way that seems very unbelievable, and it's like because that's how she's written, where she says things like that. Like, oh, it's my horrid mother. What do you want, night hag? Like, most, like
she's
if
entertaining.
Betty says that, then you're like, this is weird. That's not good acting, but it fits for that character. Like.
Yeah. I don't know. Show me more, Reggie. Show me more. And maybe, just don't take your clothes off. Show me more. But, I'd like to see some more heart from Reggie.
And a little less dye pack.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we're going to get more heart because, I mean, this Reggie and Veronica thing is not going to go forever. So there'll have to be some.
Maybe he'll die.
Aw,
Sorry.
I don't think so.
I feel Reggie's he's a nice thorn in the side of Archie that I don't think you want to
Yeah.
get rid of him.
He's not going
Yeah.
to die. Just kidding.
Because he's the roadblock for Archie and Veronica.
That's true. We do see their great plan, as we were talking about. They're going to go rob Reggie's dad's auto dealership and take that money there. And when they open it up, there's a dye pack. Because I always associate dye packs with bank robberies.
Yeah.
I mean, is Reggie's dad has he suffered so many robberies that he's like, I need to put dye packs in my money?
I didn't even know that civilians could just be like, hi, can I have a dye pack that explodes on impact when you unzip my regular suitcase that I have in my, it's just a regular bag. I'm like, it's not even how do you spring load the dye pack to make sure it I don't know.
Because he is in a duffel bag, so he had to put the money in the duffel bag. So then when he pulls it out, then I don't know.
Because it's just when he unzips it, then the
Yes.
dye pack goes off, and I was like, "What? This is like one of those confetti cards. This is I don't. It was just I don't know. It did seem weird that there was a dye pack at all.
Yeah.
But it also seemed like I was like, this was a perfect setup for someone's gonna die pun. But
That's true. It didn't happen though.
he got shot. Reggie got shot and died, and then like you could have said that, and we all would have been like, what? And then we're like, oh wow, they technically weren't lying.
We do find out that the buyer didn't see an intermediary. It was the buyer herself, Gladys Jones. Jughead's mom shows up, says, "Hey, I'm going to stick around for a little bit. Let me borrow your sweet car. I need some time to launder this money in several ways to get this all clean, and then a payment plan."
Which
for Reggie
I
and
also was
Veronica.
like, okay, that pun you guys can use. You can use the laundering money pun, but the dye pun. I'm sorry.
There's no you
And
can't.
you can't get dye pack out of that money. The money's ruined. That's the whole
Yeah.
point of dye packs. Like, and laundering money doesn't mean that you physically wash the money. It means that like you put it into a business and then
there was a
make it
second I was
clean
like,
so that you can do taxes on it. Like when people say, "Oh, I launder
Yeah.
my cash," they're like, "I'm gonna put it in the dishwasher for a while."
yeah, I was like, maybe they have a way. Like, I really thought that was just like a double entendre. But I mean, what is Gladys up to? Because
It
what's
is
she going to do with that
Bizarro-dale,
effing money?
so-
That's true. She's smart, I guess.
Yep, Sweetwater River, just wash that dye right off with that magic.
We do find at the end of the episode that her and Jellybean are going to be sticking around for a little bit, and it seems that they're happy. They're kind of running the town now. The mayor owes her big money. FP's the sheriff, and she's wrapped around Jellybean's finger. So Gladys is feeling like, yeah, let's stick around here for a while and see what kind of mischief we can get up to.
I think she knows what kind of mischief and that there's a plan. Again, someone said in the chat earlier, Sam takes this show too seriously. I do. I have wasted hundreds of hours of television, I think, on this show out of all the rewatches, okay? So I do take the show seriously, and I think that I trusted Gladys when I met her. So excited to see Jughead's mother, a sucker for moms, but no, she's bad.
I mean, I like that the show focuses as much on the parents as it does on the kids now, and that there is, the balance of that where it kind of makes these unbelievable situations that these teenagers are going through. It kind of makes them seem more normal through our eyes because the adults are having to go through such outlandish things at the same time. I'm excited to have Gladys thrown in the mix. I think it's going to be kind of cool to see too Jughead ultimately probably having to choose between his mom and his dad and the serpents and his sense of family, because all of season 1 was just him being like, I just want Jellybean back and I just want mom back and I just want
Yeah,
us
that's
all
true.
to be together again.
And like the big question is, what has Gladys been running from outside of Riverdale? We've heard about Jughead's mom. We've heard about Jellybean. Maybe they were more involved in everything than we know. I don't know. And a lot of people in the chat also agree that she's up to no good. And they think Jellybean and Betty need to meet. I'm hoping that's going to be soon.
Well, I'm sure it will be because since they're not going anywhere. But I don't feel like if you had to put like Gladys against Hiram, I don't feel like Gladys is going to be just as kind of like an overall archer, really Machiavellian villain like Hiram is.
I don't
think.
want another Hiram because he was unlikable. And he had nothing good about him. Like, I like a villain that we can kind of like a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of see Gladys as more of like a Gemma from Sons of Anarchy. Like, does like messed up things, but you still root for her because ultimately her motives are, her family, her daughter. Like, she does have this connection. I think like she's willing to use JP, but she doesn't say anything about Jughead, even though we already know that Jellybean has Jughead wrapped around her finger and Jughead is running the serpents. That's never even mentioned. She's just like JP and Veronica and
Yeah.
now Hermione all are kind of at my whim. So I think she still has that likable element where she still wants to be a good mom and she still wants what's best for her kids, which is always going to make her likable to some degree.
I agree.
And Hermione was afraid. She was like, "Oh no,
She's staying? Dun dun dun.
she's here. Oh, oh god."
She was not very Gladys at that news.
Oh, we can't possibly top that. So we should do a quick round of class president, class clown, where we crown the best of the episode and we diss the worst. Sam, you weren't here last week. Please
Okay.
kick us off.
Class clown, Reggie. Sorry, Reg. And class president, I would say, would be Tony, probably. Look at her, doing well in the SATs, soaring through. She's got it going on.
All right. I like it. Elena?
I would probably say class clown Cheryl, because even when she has the best intentions, she does some things that you're just like, what are you thinking, woman? Make better decisions. And I would say probably class president Keven, because it's like, he was there, he was supportive for Moose, he was like, I'm not going to push you one way or the other, but I have clear boundaries that I'm setting for myself for what's going to be best for me, but I'm not going to project anything on you. I think he handled that whole situation really, really well. And, I choose to believe that he cleaned the bunker bed. That's what I'm going to call it. No bunk beds, just bunker beds.
Whatever makes you sleep at night, Elena, you feel free.
It's not going to be in the bunker bed.
Yeah.
I think mine will deal both around the Midnight Club. I will just say, class president, I'll give it to Penelope because she made a antidote for the cyanide. I thought that was smart thinking. And then
keeping my drink away from you, Frank. Do not trust you.
Class clown, I will go for Moose's dad. Because he sets up this whole thing and then he does the got you inside there. It's like, if you're going to do this horrible thing, at least follow it through. I don't know why you didn't do all that.
And on top of that, support your kid.
Yes.
Yeah, especially if it's for the same reasons. Like, come on, be a good dad.
Yeah. What a knucklehead he is. Folks, before we wrap up there, I did tease there at the beginning of the episode that one of Riverdale's own may be moving on to bigger and better things. And that is the case. What we'll see. Good old our Ashley Murray, who plays Josie on the show. She's going to be in the pilot for Katie Keene. So right now, it's still a pilot episode. But if it does get picked up to series, then she would move on to that, I would imagine. Even though it's set in Riverdale's future, she could still come back for appearances back in the Riverdale years. But I feel like we don't see her that much on Riverdale anyway. So easy for her to be a full-time regular in Katie Keene and then come back.
And I will tease this episode with the song that she and Archie sings before he has his whole Casper, "Can I kiss you, Devin Sawa" moment. But when they're singing the "Where We Belong" and it's about New York City and it's her saying, I always wanted to see the lights of Broadway and all these things. You're like, oh, well, this is a sweet little lyrical nod to what might work out for you then, Joe.
And so Taylor James says, Ashley Murray, I will miss my queen. You will get even more of your queen. And I think that is what's so exciting, is that hopefully we'll see more of Ashley or Josie.
Yeah, because she would actually be one of the core four on that show, which would be nice to be able to see her, because I think so many people complain that we don't get to see enough of her here.
Because as soon as it was like Josie and the Pussycats was no more, it was just like, Josie's around, though. Like,
Yeah. Can we do some quick predictions? Because I have some things to say.
Go ahead, Sam.
About next week.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
First of all, I don't think Moose will be back next week whatsoever, but he will come back in some capacity. He is not gone. Also, Glendale, it's weird because in Los Angeles, Glendale's just a hip whatever. We're very close to an actual town called Glendale, so didn't like that. However, I think that we are going to see more couplings next week, and we will probably see Alice and the farm and all of that again. I think the parents are trying to keep their kids close for a specific reason, and college is coming up, and I think it will continue to come up since the SAT scores are coming out, and the kids will try to leave, and each parent is going to have a specific reason as to why they want to keep them in Riverdale. I think that'll be a running theme for the rest of the season.
Nice. Lena?
I think because we had Major Mason setting up this whole parallel where he's like, Tommy had the gargoyle gang that he was working with, while I had the gargoyle gang that I was working, like we had these kind of parallel things that were running simultaneously in these different areas. I feel like bringing Gladys in, us wondering what has she been up to, I think that's going to somehow tie in where it's going to be another gargoyle king type situation that maybe is not even directly this one, where they're just like, another one, and she runs this.
Gargoyle Kings are popping up everywhere.
Gargoyle Kings, Gargoyle
Everyone
Queens,
is a Gargoyle
King,
Queen.
Well, we'll find out what is true and what's not when Riverdale returns February 27th. So
What?
3 weeks, yes.
Oh, wow. Oh,
So,
I
yes.
will be here,
There you
actually.
go. So 3 weeks from tonight, we'll be back.
Wow. All right, guys.
There
We'll
you
see
go.
you then.
But in the meantime, folks, thanks for watching this episode of the Riverdale After Show. As always, like us on Facebook, give us 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and thank you everybody for hopping in the chat. Sam will be reading these comments all night as she goes and rewatches this episode. But if you want to stay in touch with any of us after the show's over, Elena, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Alana Jordan, ALANAJORDAN, and on Instagram at Alana J. Jordan. And I won't be here when you guys come back on the end of the month because I'll be in Hawaii for the amazing Comic-Con Aloha, and tickets are on sale now. So if you're in Hawaii, come see me there.
Well, that sounds like a terrible
yeah.
idea.
I'll be running the cosplay contest. If you dress as the Gargoyle King, I will give you props for making your own Gargoyle King cosplay. I will choose you as my personal winner. I'll make up a category for you. I'll do it.
Clearly, it's easy to do. Everybody's doing it at Riverdale.
Everyone's doing it. If there's at least 5 Gargoyle King outfits on stage, I will be livid.
Yeah.
And then you can also check out the latest season of Relativity at relativitypodcast.com. It's a sci-fi radio drama that the 3rd season is now coming up from my favorite writer from Star Trek Next Generation, Lee Shackelford. I'm in it. Check it out.
Awesome.
Awesome. You guys can find me, Sam Davidson, at SamD43 on Instagram. Wow, it's been a day, guys. Instagram and Twitter, and SamDavidsonEntertainment.com. And I appreciate whoever just said in the chat, I am the prom king of the evening of this after show. So,
Well, look
thank
at you. Look
Yeah.
at that.
Yes.
Find me on Pornhub, you guys. I'll be out there just
We'll all be on
looking around in
Bumble,
there.
too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. I'm buzzworthy, apparently.
Find me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie. Folks, we'll see you back here February 27th for an all-new episode of the Riverdale Aftershow right here on AfterBuzz TV.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.